Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on what's the date? May 7th, 2025. I'm going to turn down the lights. I think I've got enough coming through the window to be seen. In the United States, there's a very big military. Okay, so you got these men and women coming out of the CIA, the FBI, the Navy SEALs, and they got to make a living, right? And the intelligence services. So they start writing books and making speeches about how to teach ordinary people the skills that they learned that made them supermen and superwomen because they believe they have these superpowers that other people don't have. Are you still okay? I notice you're looking all
Yeah, I'm
over.
listening. I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay. There's this one guy I've been watching recently. His name is Joe Navarro. Okay. I like him. I like the way he talks, but I don't think anything he said is necessarily true. And I'm going to use you and Richie Rich Rosen to prove that he is wrong. He talks about three things. He said, people who are confident don't talk fast. You talk fast, and you strike me as being very confident, Tommy. Would you
Thank you.
agree with would you agree with him, with Joe Navarro, the famous FBI agent?
I would say that
Don't dither on
no,
this. You
because it's
talk
one of those
fast.
things. It's one of those things where you have to kind of it's context, right? Yeah. If you talk too fast, yes, I would say in general, yes, I would agree with that. In general, I would agree with that. But if I'm talking to someone who talks fast, then I'll talk fast. If I'm talking to someone who talks slow, then I talk slow. If I'm
I've
doing a
never heard you
podcast
talk
like I am
slow.
right
I know
now,
you pretty well, okay?
I'm a
I
new.
know you
I
pretty
I
well.
don't talk nearly as fast on your podcast or on my podcast as I do in general, right? Like so, I
Oh,
enunciate
no, hold on.
more,
You talk faster or not as fast? What in
not
real
as
life?
fast. I
In
talk
real life,
faster in
you're
real life.
faster?
Yes.
Okay, so I said that you sound like a confident guy to me, okay? That when are you telling me that when you speak in regular business life, do you sound confident or not
No,
confident?
100%. 100%. I sound confident.
Okay, and you're
And
talking faster than you do with me.
again, it really depends
It's
on the.
funny. I can't believe them. They just don't want to agree with
No,
me,
no, because
okay?
you want to black and white everything, Animal. We have this argument every single time. So if I'm calling someone from Alabama, I'm going to slow down and enunciate my words and talk to him slower because that's what he's used to. Where if I'm calling somebody from New Jersey, we're going to talk about how we're going to do this shirt for you and what the stuff we're going to get for you and how things are going to go. So it depends on who I'm
So if Joe
talking to.
Navarro says blanket statement, if you
He's
talk
wrong.
fast,
He's
okay.
wrong.
Oh, thank God. Okay,
Blanket
finally.
statements are always, except for like the earth is round. That's a blanket
Okay.
statement that's true. Right. But
Okay.
most blanket statements are wrong, are not right. I mean, you just can't say blanket. People who
Okay.
talk too
Yeah, yeah,
fast
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
untrustworthy.
yeah. Come on, let's. I want to move this on. Okay.
Go ahead.
Point number two. He says, okay, if you want to have a command voice, okay, you can't talk high. You can't have a high register. And he gives an example. He said when he was a new agent, they were chasing some guy, and he said, "Stop, stop!" Okay, and his more senior partner said, "Joe, you got to work on your voice. I mean, bring it down, okay? No one's going to listen to you when you're up there
Again,
school."
situational, but I agree with what he said. That if you're trying to get someone to stop, it better be in a very deep, authoritative voice versus a stop or I'll shoot. Like I
Okay,
get it.
hold on.
That makes sense.
You don't slow down and use a deep authoritative voice, okay?
Mm-mm.
I just listen. I got a lot of questions for you because I just watched one of your shows, okay? The intake session show that you look like you're looking in the mirror. How do I look? Well, you got a haircut. I can see that. Okay, so so this talk high, okay? He says bring it down, okay? Bring it down if you want to sound
Oh, so you want me to
authoritative.
be like this? Like, what was that
No,
fake
I'm not
lady
telling you. I
that
like
did
the
that?
way
Like,
you
I don't
talk.
agree with that. Like that
You don't
fake
bore
lady who
me,
had
okay? You don't bore
Cylindra.
me. And I
Uh,
watched your show. You're way more interesting than some of the other people who just call in, okay? There
thanks.
you go, okay? And and even on Dominic's show, lots of the people mumble there, okay? They don't mumble so much on your show, but his show, so they're saying interesting stuff, and I have trouble following it, okay? So, okay, the third thing is he said, this is the most
Are
ridiculous.
you April?
What?
I'm saying hi to people as they walk by me.
Okay, fine. Okay, he says if you want to sound authoritative, you got to speak with a cadence. What he means by that is a slow pace. He says a measured pace. Okay, and the examples he gives are Martin Luther King and Barack Obama. Those guys are speech makers. Okay, they're
Yep.
not talking to people on the phone. Okay, I think he's wrong. Are you going to agree with me on
Again,
that?
I'm gonna agree that he's wrong because it's a blanket statement. However, it does have um, value in certain situations. That's what I'm gonna say. All his stuff has value in
In a
situations.
business
But
situation
blanket
like
statements
you're
are
talking
stupid.
about, in a business situation?
No, not at all. I don't think so, unless you're trying to like, if you're talking to a room full of people, you might want to bring your cadence down to something similar like that. But in a one-on-one conversation, I don't think it's that important.
Okay. I got to tell you, if you were speaking to a group of recruiters, teaching them how to do something, yeah, I don't know if you'd want to say, I have a dream that you guys all learn how to use this tool, Manus, or whatever the thing is. Okay.
Well, it could be like, the best way for you to use this tool, and I'm going to show you to that right
That's not
now,
you. First of all,
would
everybody, if you've
be
never
like
watched another
this.
recruiting animal show, this is not the way he talks. He's just doing it to be contrary. And I'll tell you something. These guys, I believe it's unconscious. They just feel they have to resist me. Okay. They
If you're Canadian, wear a funny hat.
maybe that's the reason. Okay. Here's something else. Issue number 2. Okay. Anyway, talking to strangers makes people happy. This is the claim by psychologists. Researchers ask people to interact with strangers on public transit, right? So they could try to have a moment of connection. And they found that the commuters seem to get a boost in their mood from that exercise. They found that people underestimated how much they would enjoy the experience and how open the strangers would be. So I said, hey, this has to relate to cold calling, but I don't think it really is parallel. Okay. With cold calling, you're not just talking to a stranger. Theoretically, but from this, hey, everybody, I'm Joe Recruiter. I'm calling you up. You've never heard from me before. I just need a couple of minutes of your day, and that's a nice break for you, and you're connecting with somebody. No, I want something from you. And as Rich always says, that puts you on the defensive. Okay.
Yep.
Isn't it? It's like
I agree
someone
with
came up to
everything
you
you
on
said,
the subway.
100%.
Instead of making a joke, they held out their hand and they say, "You got any change?" Isn't that more
It's the
similar?
same exact thing. It's very similar. Like, and I agree with 100% that yes, I strike up conversations with strangers all the time, but I'm not asking them for anything, right?
Okay.
But when you're cold calling, you're asking for stuff. So yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, but Gavin, who we know doesn't believe in using Calendly, because he said every chance you get to talk to your client or your candidate, when these small conversations you have when you set up interview times, he said that's important, and that would kind of agree with this, because those are not the sale. The relationship has already been established, right? You're not defensive about it necessarily.
So I'm okay with that. But when it comes to like established clients, I agree with what he says. Yeah, 100%. I want to call up my client and go, hey, let's set up interviews for these 3 guys. What's your availability? I don't want him doing that. I want the conversation. I want the relationship. I want the camaraderie and all the things that I think is important when I develop a relationship with a client.
Okay, but most people see that back and forth as a nuisance, pure administrative work.
Not me.
Okay, and Rich also said that he doesn't like it when the internal recruiter, if he's dealing with an internal recruiter, they want to carry messages back and forth between the candidate and the company.
Hate that.
And he tells them, I can't work like that. At least that's what he says. That's what he says. He sounds like he's making an absolute statement, but you've already established you guys never say anything.
Well, I mean, I can't. I mean, that there's one of those blanket statements that I would say is me. I can't work like that. I can't have everything going back and forth between the talent acquisition manager, the candidate, the client. Like, no.
Okay, here it's. I don't know. I can't remember who said this. It might have been you, but I don't think so. It's the job of the recruiter to be blunt. Okay. And don't worry about pissing anybody off. The recruiter has to be professionally blunt. And then when I was listening to your show, Kelly said, I like to go for the jugular. okay, which is quite different from you. I know you ask all the tough questions, but you like to come at it in a roundabout way. I'm your buddy. We're just having a fun conversation. What was your then you get to it? What was your score from high school going into university, right? Or something like that, right? So recruiters, would you agree with this? It's the job of the recruiter to be blunt.
Yeah, I think so. Blunt, honest, and asking the hard questions, and not willing to and willing to understand that some of the stuff you ask is not going to be well received, or you may piss someone off, but you still have to do it.
Okay, give me the example. Would you use that? Was that the one about school, your grades? Is that one of the examples?
I mean, it could be anything. I'm not gonna move forward with you on this because you're already talking about taking a counteroffer, or I don't think you're a good fit for these reasons, right? Or I can't work with you under these circumstances, right? That's blunt. It's to the point, and sometimes you'll piss people off when you say
I've
that.
never heard you say that before. Okay. In fact, you didn't on your show when you were talking about counteroffers. That would have been pretty interesting.
Well, I just had an issue today, a huge issue today. I had a candidate and recruited them, interviewed them. Why do you want to leave? I don't like living where I live. It's a small town. I'm the Middle East. I'm a Muslim, right? There's no Muslims here. My wife and I, we'd love to be in a bigger city. San Francisco is awesome. Got an opportunity there. Would you be interested? Yeah. What about your company? It's a small company. Is there room for growth? Yada, 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 right? Go through the whole thing. If we get you X, will you take it? Yeah, 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 right? Go through the whole thing. Luckily, my client came in low, forgetting that he was moving from a small town into the Bay Area. And I knew that he wasn't going to take the offer they sent him. And so he called me and I said, "Hey man, what's going on?" And I go, I know it's low. What do you want? Told me what he wanted. I said, "Okay, that's a little higher than I thought we would go. But if I can get you that offer, you ready to sign on the dotted line and start tomorrow or start in 2 weeks?" And he goes, "Oh, no, I'm going to take it back to my company and see if they'll match it." I said, "What?" I go, "We had several conversations. You said this was all about leaving Reading." "Oh yeah, well, they'll match it. I'll stay in Reading." I'm like, "What?" I go, "Dude, I'm not in the business of getting people raises at their current jobs. So we're not gonna do anything to this offer. And you have a nice day.
Really?
We're
Now,
done."
I'm surprised because um, I just want to note that he wasn't saying anything about the guy's religion. I can understand him wanting to be with a larger religious community. What's not our issue here, just in case somebody wants to.
No, it had
hate
nothing
us.
to do with that.
Okay, yeah, but no.
Strictly-
But my point is, when I was watching your show just before I came on, you made a point of saying again and again, when I talk to my candidate, I say, money aside. You
Yes.
start off the sentence with
Yes.
money
We've had
aside.
those
What makes
conversations.
this job more interesting than the one you're currently in?
After his second interview, I asked him that question, and he was like, "This is what I want to do. It's in a better area for me and my wife. It's a growing company. I mean, yeah, this is better all the way around." But I knew that money was important too, because obviously he had to, survive. So I told the client where he needed to be. They came in 20,000 light, and I think it was because they forgot about the cost of living issue. We just made like 5 deals with this company. So I didn't think it was going to be an issue getting him more money, right? He was a little disappointed, and he said, "Look, I need, this isn't going to work." I thought everything was copacetic because we had been talking, we've been having those conversations, and then all of a sudden he throws this monkey wrench in the plan, and I'm like, where did the hell this came out of left field?
No, but
Completely
let
out
me
of left
ask you.
field.
No, but there's another issue there. Okay,
Mhm.
Rich is here. But hold on, there's another issue there. He might have lost. Hi, Rich. He might have lost faith in the company already because they came in low to begin with. Was that if they would have come in at the proper rate to start off with? Would that have changed things? I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. I don't think so. I think he was lying to me. I truly think he was lying. I think he absolutely was going to use my offer to get him a raise and was lying to me. And when I hit him with that sharp angle, I think he kind of like it was a little bit of a shock. He didn't know what to say, and he just stumbled over his words. So, well, I'm just going to see if they'll match it.
Listen to
And
this,
that's
Rich.
when
Listen to this. I was watching Tommy's show, and he was talking about counteroffers. He says he always goes back to the candidate and uses this line, which I liked: "Money aside, comma. What is it about this job that would make it interesting, more interesting than your current position?" Okay. money aside, he hammered that. I remember it off because he's
money aside, or
Man,
why is this
that's-
job better than the current one you have?
Yeah, I
Money
mean, that's
aside.
management recruiter training 101.
Yeah,
It's a great-
okay,
Yeah.
but now he just had a guy,
And
and
a
when the
counteroffer.
offer came in, the guy said, "Well, if they match me." After that, he says, "If they match me, I'm going to stay here." When the guy gave him all kinds of reasons why he wanted to move from a small town to a big city.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the problem. I mean, you got to listen to what they really say, not what the words are. You know, I mean, it's what they say between the words. You got a guy who doesn't really want to move clearly. You know, especially it sounds
This
like
guy wanted to
And
move.
here's the thing.
Well,
I
hang on. It
felt like I
doesn't sound like he
covered all
really
that.
wants to move.
But-
If it
but I
sounds like
was-
he's coming from a small town to big city, but is going to stay in small town America for the money. Doesn't really want to move. It's just about the money.
And you know what? I agree with you now, but before I didn't, because it was
Yeah, I mean,
he was
I'll tell you
so
what.
adamant about wanting to get out. It's a small company. There's no room for growth. Yeah, he's from the Middle East. He's a Muslim. He's living in a very small rednecky type town. I was moving him to the Bay Area, which is going to be a lot more cosmopolitan. His wife was all excited. Like I hit all the things.
Really?
And to
It's
get
true.
this at the
He's
very
got all
end blew me away.
Who would
Yeah.
think the guy would say, "If they gave me more money, I'd stay"? Not
Because
after that.
they get scared. Reality makes it different. And listen, you're never gonna. We're never going to be 100% right. That's
Exactly.
what Adam thinks. You know, you can ask all the right questions, get all the right answers. It still doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You know?
I always say you cannot control fall offs and turn downs. If you try to, you'll give yourself brain damage. It's part of dealing with people, and people change their minds.
Yeah, I mean, all you can do is you dissect what you did, why it didn't work, what could I have done differently. And listen, sometimes there's really nothing you could have done differently other than, not talk to the guy because he's a liar. You know, they get scared. Reloads. I do almost zero reloads, and I mean, it's been decades since I've done them, and I don't miss them at all because you're such a high chance of fall off.
Oh, okay, Rich. Tom had another funny saying he got from somebody else. I only relocate people with a suitcase or a bus ticket
Cardboard box and a bus ticket.
Yeah, it's because it's only single guys who don't have any large properties investment in it, so they're ready to get on the bus tomorrow with one suitcase and leave. Cardboard box and a bus
Cardboard box.
ticket.
I always say, like, if you're going to do reloads, try to deal with single people who all they need is a cardboard box and a bus ticket to relocate. Right? Because if you have somebody who's married with kids and you say, "Hey, well, where'd you grow up?" "Oh, I grew up right here in Michigan, in Detroit." "And where'd your wife grow up?" "Right here in Detroit."
Yeah,
"And
good luck.
where are your grandparents?" "Right here in Detroit."
Yep.
"But you're gonna move? You're gonna move to Indianapolis?" "Oh, heck yeah!" And then they hammer that little sign in the ground, and the next thing you know, mom's bottom lip's quivering, grandma's crying, and they're not.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. Here's something else though. There's been
Buy
a
a V-neck T-shirt.
Yeah. Okay. Some recruiters have problems. If they're a couple of minutes late, the candidate disappears. Okay. So I've never heard of this. Does anybody actually tell their candidates, "Listen, if I'm a few minutes late, you never know if it's a technical problem or something like that. Just let me, just be patient. Wait for me." Okay.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Don?
I'll text them.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, why wouldn't you text him? I mean, I gotta tell you, I absolutely hate when if someone's late for a call, like a Zoom call or whatever, and the buyer, like if it's my call and you're late, I'm gonna text you and say, "Hey, can you still make the call?" Like I did with sales guys. Like, how does a salesperson not pick up the fucking phone, text, do something to say, "Hey, I'm just running late. I'm stuck in a minute, whatever, having tech issues." Otherwise, they just blow it. Or they're like, "Oh, I was waiting for you to call me."
Yeah, exactly. Rich, Tom, let me ask Mike, let me ask all you guys this. So I had a guy, really good friend of mine, reach out to me, sends me a referral. She misses the first call, books a half hour on my calendar. I ended up taking the call. She's a rock star candidate, but I'm like, I really don't even want to help you because you literally blocked half hour on my calendar and wasted my time. And not even, it didn't Rich, no.
Did you ask her why?
Make it.
Yeah.
No, because I don't want to hear the bullshit excuses. Like, if it was.
Well, it's the I had the same thing happen. A buddy of mine, wanted me to talk to his internal crew to help her out. It was an insurance business, not even my business. I'm like, sure. This chick blew me off twice. Took up time in my calendar.
Ooh, yeah, that one's bad.
Twice. And the third time, she's like, "Hey, do you think we can reset this?" I just said no. That was it.
No,
I'm like, I tried
absolutely
twice.
not.
Trying to help you.
That's different, though. Rich, that's ghosting. Okay, we're
Oh, that's
talking
not
about
ghosting. That's not ghosting. She just didn't
Well,
show up. She was looking for help, and then this wasn't even something in my space. I was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, isn't it crazy when we try to help these people and then they just
Well,
it's like you booked it on my calendar. And
did
then
you see my post? Like I did. I had this article I posted on LinkedIn. I got like I don't know, like 60 plus comments on it and like 70,000 views on this thing already, talking about candidates can't cancel interviews. And these idiots come on this post and are telling me why. Well, how come the clients can do it? Well, the clients don't need the goddamn job. I mean, like you need the job. Like you're just outing yourself as an absolute arrogant moron. It is crazy. It's not right that anyone cancels. Things come up, man. But for a candidate to argue, it's okay that I missed the interview or I rescheduled because I had to go play golf or take an extra long dump or something is insane. So I just do not understand these candidates today in this market.
Jerry says if the candidate cancels, it ain't going to happen.
He's right. He's 100% right.
I would say 99% of the time he's right.
There you go. Sorry, I didn't want to be an animal.
Yeah.
Or like
because sometimes people have issues that happen.
Reschedules. He says if the candidate reschedules, it's a very bad sign.
I've been tracking it too. It's like literally, 90% of the time. Literally 90% of the time, that candidate is going to back out of the interview process at some point, or even it would just turn down the offer if they get that far. Because if you want something, you do it. Granted, things do happen in life. But
I had one recently that his boss called an emergency sales meeting. He couldn't get out of it, right? Then he scheduled for the next day, and everything was fine, and yada yada. But in general, you're right.
Yeah, when they immediately reschedule, I have a lot more faith in them. If they don't send me, hey, I'm available, later today or Tuesday at 9, usually it's not going anywhere.
Okay. Now, now that I remember, Rich, Dominic was totally blown away that you don't use LinkedIn Recruiter. Okay, he said, can I save money? Rich doesn't use this.
No, I already know that because Tom doesn't either.
I've beat Dominic up on that 100 times.
Yeah,
it's a waste of money.
Yeah,
I know.
There's no need for it.
Dominic likes to waste money.
And Don does like to waste his money, but he buys good toys. But if you got a good network, Don, like you got a good niche, you're all locked and loaded in there.
Yeah.
You really don't need it. And honestly, I'd rather use like a pin.com than
$500 a month for Recruiter versus $79 a month for Navigator. You got an extra $400 to spend on Pin, Go Perfect, Job In, whatever you want.
Yeah,
trust me, I'm my contract's up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I'm done.
Yeah.
The only thing I liked about it was the Talent Insights. I did like that.
But
you
can get that.
Dominic loves that, and it was pretty interesting. He showed it to us on the show. Yeah.
Can't you get that from Jobin now, or even
not Talent Insights?
No,
not the one that they had on LinkedIn. It was really good. The good Talent Insights was pretty solid.
It's deadly for business development because if
really, it sounded like it was worth it. He'll call up a company and knows a lot about what's going on in there in terms of people coming and going.
You just make that up anyway. It's the same problem at every company. You don't need real stats. Every company's got the same headache. That's
kind of interesting what you just said, Rich. You don't need real stats.
No, because you say, "Oh my God, I've heard it." I've been hearing from a lot
all
of
logistics companies have this pain point. All structural engineering firms have that pain point. It's
okay. I think it gives you more confidence when you see it in writing. Allegedly,
if it makes you feel good, then just write it in, type it into Word, and you can now see it in type.
But
now it's a fact.
Who knows if the LinkedIn stats are correct? Even right?
Bingo.
Well, it's only
they're not always correct.
It's only based on LinkedIn's information, right? So that's the thing. When people ask about the job postings, I'm like, those are just LinkedIn job postings. Those are just openings that LinkedIn found based on their information. It's not all the job postings.
But if you think you're going in with real information, you're a lot more confident. I just believe it. You're not making it up. You say, "Oh, I know what I'm talking about." Oh, yeah.
But I'm confident the people that I'm presenting when I'm calling into a company are going to help this company. That's all I need.
Do you know what's gotten better? I bought Cloudora off of AppSumo a couple years ago, and its insights are really good. It's gotten significantly better.
I bought it and canceled it a long time ago. Is it? I hate when that happens. When
dude, they're
what is it?
See their
What is it?
It's called Cloudora, Cloudura,
Okay.
and when you click on a company, you can look at their organizational chart. You can look at their spend. You can look at their hiring, their how many people they hired the last year, what they're going to hire next year, their budgets. If they're
Really?
publicly traded.
Why did the rich get rid of it then?
It wasn't
It
good.
wasn't good. It wasn't good
Yeah.
in the beginning, but it's gotten
Oh,
so much better.
Oh, okay. Well,
There's a
Rich
lot.
knows that. I'm surprised he didn't have some
Yeah,
patience for it.
I buy a lot of them. I probably keep 30% of them.
Uh-huh.
Do you
And some of
use Salesforce or Zoom Info, Rich?
No, I use Sword, Single Hire, Logic IQ, and Chatterworks.
Okay.
So you use
Uh,
single hire. Are you good? Are you happy with the results?
I think they're all average. you
Okay,
know.
because they have a deal right now. I pay for the year and I get unlimited credits and unlimited exports.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Because one of the things you can do with Single Hire, you can actually for free added a line into your website, and it'll tell you everyone that visits your website. Then you can pull their information up.
Oh, that's nice. I have
Yeah.
Warmly for that, but Signal Hire will do that for free.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So-
look into that.
Yeah, I mean Single Hire. Like I said, I use Chatterworks first, and then I go to Signal Hire, and then I go to Swordfish, and then Logic IQ. But only because Swordfish is buried under the right side of my screen, and they won't move it to the left side. So
Yeah, I'm like
But-
SalesQL, LoxoSource, and then something else. I can't remember now. My brain's not working.
Okay, before I forget, Tom. Yeah, I think I've already forgotten. I've been waiting to ask you about some tool. Oh no, I remember. At the end of your show, your last show, Brian Fink comes on for a while, and he's a super sourcer,
Mhm.
and he said he recruits a lot of people on Instagram because he has free access to their direct messages there.
Yeah.
Where it's LinkedIn, you only get a
Yeah.
budget. You've got a limited number. On Instagram, you've got way more access to the same people. So he'll discover them on LinkedIn, sometimes I guess through Google, and then he'll approach them on Instagram. That's pretty smart, don't you think?
The problem is like some people don't have their real name though. Like my Instagram name is like at Dominic M91.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Okay.
like,
Yeah,
how
mine
they-
was Headhunter 69 for the longest time until my kids asked me to change it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, did they not for
I was born in 69.
You got no
That's
extra
why.
Instagram order in life. It was great.
it says
But
multiple
but
people
that's
wanna
a
come in here.
that's a great
David and
point. And
Mark.
all, like think about this. Like where are all the young kids at nowadays? On X, on YouTube, Reddit. So
Yeah.
like maybe I should get a better presence on all those platforms. Like I don't use X enough.
I was saying.
Well,
I can't stand it, but
also really not as X as much as you think. It's TikTok, Instagram, and Telegram, WhatsApp, and are we done?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Donna, you know what Donna Trudell told me? Like her friend, a recruiter that she helped out, actually Anima on this show last time, she told me she connected me with this recruiter who got into Web3 and crypto, and he got in through on X, and I was like, oh, brilliant play.
You know what? I'm on X a lot, and it's mainly politics. I follow the recruiters, but
That's where you
most of
wanna
the
go.
stuff is politics, and it's pretty bitter.
That's why you gotta create different. Like I have 3 different X accounts, and one is just straight for only crypto,
Uh-huh.
and one is lots of it. I don't ever go on there, and another one's my personal one, and it's same thing. It's all politics. Every post. And
Okay.
I'm like, I don't even want to see this. Why is it in my?
Getting you on. Here's something else. How to master. Okay. So this woman said, a recruiter, I'm a month into a new role as a recruiter with a cybersecurity company. I'm feeling intimidated as I have no prior industry knowledge. So Amy Miller said, get on the phone with every possible cyber candidate you can. Ask a million questions and you'll get it. Is that still the tried and true method? Just jump in the river. You'll learn how to swim.
Yeah.
100%.
How else do you learn?
Right.
You're gonna
Well,
And I would
no,
also
because there's
say
a
call
problem.
Trish
If
Tamkin
you
and
call
use
up
her
people and say,
prompts.
I don't know anything, they're not going to trust you. They're going to
Why
think,
would you say that? Why would you say that? Why wouldn't you just
Why would you say that?
hey, tell me what's going on in your world? Are you open to some new opportunities? What don't you like?
When I first got into SaaS supply chain tech, I didn't know what WMS, TMS, OMS meant, and all this stuff, and TCV and ARR, and so I think it's all over. And then
I can't even spell structural engineering. Are you kidding
Hey,
me?
Tommy,
Right.
apparently I do have a lifetime plan for a Cloudera. I appreciate you reminding me of this thing. I haven't been on this in forever.
Oh,
Yeah,
look
dude,
at
I'm
that.
telling you, man,
You made
it
him
is-
money. Send him an
Give it a
invoice.
try. Their insights, the
Consulting
UI
fee.
is still kind of clunky, but their insights are really good. For the $89 I paid, it's well worth it.
Wow.
Okay. Well, here's the
And I have
thing.
11,000
Rich,
credits.
Rich and Tom, Rich loves pushing. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. What Dominic is saying here is true. You get on, you're with somebody, you can't ask them intelligent questions. They'll tell you stuff you don't understand. You don't understand. And I see people complaining on X. These recruiters call me. They don't know anything about what I do. Okay. How do you handle that?
Well, because here's the problem. You have a recruiter call and recruit a senior structural engineer with his SE for a entry level EIT role doing bridge design when the senior structural is doing commercial building design. They see the word
Yeah,
structural
well, I
engineer and they
don't
go
know.
recruit him.
That's
So-
what
no,
I'm
but
getting
that's
on the
just
phone
common
with
fucking
everybody.
sense. That's common
Yeah,
right.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy's just saying is like we get the recruiters that are just calling anyone that under the sun because they said the word security once in their life,
Yeah.
opposed to actually calling, a security rep or security engineer specifically and say, listen,
Let's go to the guy who's honest, Dominic. When you said you called up, okay, and you didn't know anything, did it ever happen that you didn't understand what the person was saying, and you say, you know what, I'm new in this. Can you explain?
No,
it to me?
I wouldn't say
I'll
I
get it.
don't know. I would just keep writing notes down. Boom. Boom. Then I have sticky notes all over here. And then, a month later, I knew it. I can go on the phone with any CEO and be like, yeah, let's WMS, OMS, TCV, AR, blah, blah, blah. When I first learned, that's what I was trying to remember. Like when I first started, how did I do it? I had sticky notes everywhere. And then I keep, well, now you don't even need that. You just go to AI.
So
And
you would
type
go
in-
to a client and they're giving you a job description and you don't know anything about what it means, and you don't have to ask them to fill it out for you.
No, I,
So you faked it. In other words, you disagree.
fake it till you make it.
You guys disagree. You fake it. You pretend. You don't tell people you don't know anything.
they didn't ask what he knew. He asked questions. He asked smart questions because he's a smart guy.
Okay, I guess I'm not that smart, because if I ask a question about something I
Finally,
don't know
something we
anything
agree
about,
on.
wait, no, yeah, okay. If I ask a question about something I don't know anything about, I don't even understand the answer. I have to say, could you spell it out to me? Okay.
But which is fine to ask, but you can. And nowadays, you just put it in a chat or whatever, and you get the answer you need anyway.
Chris
But-
Champion has
Yeah.
those
You don't know, it's okay
GPTs.
to
You could put the role in and it'll tell you everything you need to know about it, questions to ask, and explain to you like you're 5 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a question for Rich. Okay.
Okay.
Somebody asked, will artificial intelligence kill the virtual assistant industry? And Rich said it will kill the useless virtual assistants, not the quality ones. What did you mean by that?
For the moment, you get all these, knucklehead VAs in, overseas that, if you don't spell every letter out for them, they can't figure it out. I mean, now you can automate so much of it.
Like what? Like what?
Like what? Like doing you can automate a lot of your outreach. You can automate, the intake of information. You can automate, your dialing if you wanted to, whatever you want. Like
I'd
Dominic.
say the list building, Rich.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a VA, all they do is grab 100 profiles off LinkedIn and put them in a spreadsheet.
So,
You're going to be able to do that with ChatGPT.
yeah. Well, think about it. Like Pin's a perfect example. Like right now, I go to Pin. I go and I put my list, my search criteria in there, and then I click a button. It automatically writes the email, automatically puts them in my database, automatically sets me to call them. That's what I was paying a VA for before. A good VA though can actually handle putting the search in there, can source through the good and the good versus the bad. And you can, if you really trusted Pin perfectly, it can do it all automatically. You can be completely hands off if you wanted to. But
Yeah, I think that we're going to get there one day,
we will.
something like that.
We
Or
will.
if your job is generic enough.
Yeah, but again, good VAs, like good anything, will rise to understand how to build your prompts for ChatGPT. They'll understand how to get data, find what the good candidate versus a bad candidate is. Like they're not going to, like, these people that are using recruiters or VAs to do their sourcing, actually making calls. I think that's insane. Like these recruiters that are using, people in the Philippines or Pakistan to make recruiting calls for them, especially BD calls. I think that is just the ultimate laziness and stupidity. Like, why even do this job?
Agreed.
If it's so easy, why would you have a $4 an hour guy do it?
Okay. Tom, you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay. You were promoting spaceship.com. You want to tell us about it?
Okay. So basically, a place to get cheap domains and cheap email addresses. I had a client in that I'm helping set up something. They need like 40 email addresses, and they're like $5 a year with 3 gigabytes of storage. And they're HTML or SMTP. You can also buy domains from them. I bought 4 domains for our firm. They were like $8 a piece. .com.
Unbelievable. $8 for a domain? Are they reliable?
They're .coms.
I'm paying 32 bucks Canadian. Okay.
But that's Canadian pesos. That's like $4 here.
Okay.
That's good. The frozen Mexicans are funny because, well,
Let me do my ads now. Now, Rich Rosen, America's Recruiter, has a class to teach you to do what he does, and it's full open kimono. He tells you everything. You can ask him any question you want. It's Thursday mornings, 8:45 Eastern. If you want to read about it, go to Moore Essentials, Moore Essentials.com. What's it called? Recruiting Revolution?
Yes.
Okay. Or contact Rich at cornerstonesearch.com. Dominic has a great show that I was referring to, and I've got tons of notes here for Dominic. I put them aside when he comes because I don't understand what I'm listening to when I watch a show. I figure I'll get him to explain it, but we didn't get there today, really. Okay. His show is called, what's it called? How do they find it on YouTube?
On YouTube, I don't even. What's my channel called now?
Recruiting Success, something like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the name for his show. Okay, his name is Dominic. If you go put this in on YouTube, you'll get him. DOMENICMAIANI. Tommy Pistachio Elascio. He's got 3 shows. Got 3 shows. TheRecruiterRoundtable.com will take you there and give you all the information. David M. Marr is an excellent internal recruiter and sourcer. He's on contract now, but he will talk to you if you have a full-time position for him. There he goes. Anybody else want to say anything before the show ends?
Don't forget to smile and dial.
Yeah, it's been nice to see you all here. Thank you for disagreeing with me about everything and taking the show off the rails at the end. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it anyway. Okay. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
See you later.
Ciao.